Oh.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Matt and Scott over there with Stout Sportsmen. Howdy. Today's video, we are going to be talking about Pickwick Lake coming up here in another week or so. They'll be starting out.
Yep, next Thursday. We're recording this on Thursday, so
yeah, gives you guys a week to listen to us, listen to whoever else you want to get some research and picks from.
Yeah. Yeah. So Matt, you got some Tennessee River fishing in.
Yeah.
Last week. And,
Tennessee River. We got a little more than just that, but it was like a last minute thing. And the girlfriend and I, we just decided, like literally a day and a half before, it's like, hey, let's go down to Chickamauga and fish. So it was a day and a half later. We were on the road, went down and stayed in Harrison at Island Cove Marina, which we've been to a couple times.
Yep.
Water temps weren't too bad. They were anywhere from like 47 up to like 51 degrees. The fish hadn't really moved into the back of the creeks and stuff yet. A lot of them were just kind of hanging out, still out toward the main river channel. But the fishing was tough, that's for sure, as it always is for us down there because we're always too early.
Early or too late.
But I see that Pickwick, the water temps right now are right around 47-ish, give or take a couple. I know they do have a real hot streak with air temperature weather right now, 75, 80 degrees the next couple of days, and then for like Wednesday, Thursday next week, the weather forecast is showing that they're going to be dropping down into low mid 60s and then like mid to upper 30s, low 40s at night. So I think that's really going to throw a curveball into how they practice compared to how the tournament's going to fish.
Yeah, and especially everything I've heard is that there's a chance that they could hit the century mark, get that 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And if the temperatures are going to stay low, I don't know. I mean, I'm no pro at all, so
right. But
we'll see what happens. But
like to me, fishing similar conditions last week, I don't see that possible. I mean, the 4.5 days we fished down at Chickamauga, I caught 4 fish. And, 2 were over 3 pounds, and the other 2 were from nursery school. But I just don't see 20-pound bags. Maybe you might get a handful, but you're not gonna. I would almost bet a motorcycle on not hitting 100 pounds this week. Next week, I would almost guarantee it. It's not gonna happen. Oh. And I've originally, before I really looked into the weather and what the water temps were, I was actually at mid 90s for my weight, and now I've actually dropped it significantly, like almost 20 pounds.
All right, so why don't we just start there? What are we doing for weights?
As I'm looking at my lineup here, I have 77.7, and I wrote down 71.7, and I'm going with 71.7 because I think it's going to be that light. Just from what I saw and how not ready to eat those fish are, they're not quite even to pre-spawn levels yet, so they weren't biting. I threw the kitchen sink at them, and I got like 5 bites and 4 fish, so it's going to be tough.
I'm going to stay a little more optimistic with 88 pounds and 7 ounces. So
okay, that's fair. I mean, who knows? I mean, with 4 days of warmer temps, that they're going to be coming up in the next few days, I'm sure that water temp is going to get up to, maybe 54, 55 degrees, good chance. But I think once that cold front comes in, that's just going to flip the script on everything. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But at the same time, another thing I do want to mention, Chickamauga, like 2 days before we got there, they dropped the lake level at like 8 feet. So that totally screwed with the fish's head. So I'm not sure what the levels are over at Pickwick. I mean, if they're stable, then it could be completely different. It could be good. Who knows?
Okay. All right. So let's kick it off and go to our groups here.
I'll go first.
Yeah, Group A.
Yeah.
Group A usually, I mean, there's no bad pick in Group A. I'm not going to criticize anybody's Group A pick.
Okay.
This is the one group. I mean, so far out of 2 tournaments, those are the guys that have showed up the best in those 2 tournaments.
Right. Yep.
So my pick is Patrick Walters, who has been fishing amazing. Even going back into last year, he had I think he finished 2nd or 3rd in the Bassmaster Open that they just had in Florida.
Yeah.
So he's been incredible lately. So he has he finished the top 35 both tournaments so far. He has a top 10, and at 5.8%, that is a great value.
Yep. I like it.
And I mean, I didn't want to go with the chalk. I mean, Hackney is fishing amazing this year so far. I can't go with the chalk there. I got to go off the board here.
You don't want to go 3 weeks in a row or 3 events in a row?
I didn't pick Hackney last week.
Okay.
Or last tournament.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, if it was more of a flipping and pitching shallower water tournament, I would go Hackney all day long. But I think there's more to be found in Pickwick.
Yeah, I believe so too. That being said, I picked Greg Hackney. Now, obviously, all my picks are subject to change. Any one of my 5 picks I could change. I haven't since I set this lineup, however many days or a week or so ago. But as of right now, I'm going to go with him. He seems like the hottest hand. Obviously, he's the chalk pick, almost 40%. That's who I'm going to go with. I keep thinking about my strategy for fantasy going forward this year, and I'm doing horrible. I'm like in 166th place out of like just under 200 people in our group. It's terrible. And I'm to the point now where I'm like, it seems like the more research and the more studying I do, the worse I do. And so this week, I mean, nothing against the people watching this, but I didn't like go through to like previous tournaments and try and find out where people finished this and that. I'm kind of looking at some hotter hands and stuff like that right now.
Yeah. With that being said, I guess a little plug for the Serious Angler podcast. I watched some of their stuff, and they're actually from Western New York. And they're not doing well either, and they're in the industry.
Right.
And I think even Rich Lindgren, Hellabass, he isn't doing very well either.
No.
So take all these picks with a grain of salt.
Yeah, exactly.
With that being said, the guys from Greg Hackney down to Patrick Walters are Hackney, Polnick, Fighter, Cox, Swindle, and Christie.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go wrong there. I mean, other than I think the only one that I would fight you on is Swindle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just because, I mean, I needed to see him actually win something or be in the top 10 before I really bother picking him, especially for Group A.
Right.
But it's, that's down in his area. So, who knows?
Yeah. I will say, not necessarily as a dark horse. Well, I mean, he's 1.2% for A group. If I do switch from Hackney, which I could, I'd probably go with Keith Combs. I caught my 2 decent fish off in Chickamauga with, medium deep crankbaits, that 10 to 15 foot range. And I just see the guys that can go out there and crank medium depths all day long, having like a solid shot. And that's who I'd put my money on.
Okay. Anybody in that group.
Oh yeah, I mean anybody's good, but that's who I would pick as a dark horse, I guess, just because it's a low percentage.
All right, let's go bucket B. I think we might have the same pick here.
Well, it's probably not Kennedy or Cruz.
Nope.
I think I actually picked this guy the first 2 events, Brandon Lester.
Yep.
To me, it's still part of the Tennessee River. and that's who I'm going to go with. He hasn't done fantastic, but he hasn't done horrible. So to me, at 17.5%, it's a safe, comfortable pick.
Yep. So I also went with Brendan Lester. I would have went with Kyle Welcher, but I've already picked him this year, and he hasn't really shown up as well as I would hoped.
Right.
So I'm gonna walk away and then watch him, score a top 10 probably this week.
Exactly right.
But yeah, I mean, you can't. I don't know how 20% people are picking Steve Kennedy other than he showed up at the.
Well, just because he's the top of the B group, that's it.
Yeah, but we'll call him Houdini Kennedy. Now you see him, now you don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm staying away from Steve Kennedy. I'll probably stay away from Steve Kennedy till forever.
I agree. I agree with you there totally, for sure. Yep.
I mean, you can never go wrong with Jamie Hartman at 3.6%. There's I guess my dark horse. Let's see other guys. I'm just looking at the list now. There's
I don't know. I mean, like Brandon Cobb or Brandon Card, they're both. It's a possibility. I mean, they're both fishing both pretty well.
One name I see down the list that he usually ends up at some point catching a big fish, no matter what tournament he's at, is Drew Benton at 0.9%.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really looking to take your chances, I mean, he's a good fisherman.
Yeah, you do see him quite often on the Big Bass leaderboard. A couple times, out of the 3-4 day event. Yep.
All right, so we both took Lester in B group.
Mm-hmm.
C group.
Go ahead.
I took him last tournament, and I'm going to take him again. Mr. Buddy Gross.
Okay.
15.8%.
All right. I like that pick.
He actually has a win on Pickwick back in FLW days. I think it was like 2016 or something like that. So he's had success. It's a little more south from where he lives, but see what happens.
I like it. I have Scott Canterbury for now, but I really do like the Buddy Gross pick. Once you said you were picking Buddy, I'm like, well, maybe I'll just stick with Canterbury, which I am for now, but I don't know, that 25%, it's just, it doesn't, it seems a little safe.
I think the big thing is people see that Alabama on the end there, and they think, oh, he's a local. Not really.
No. I'm not sure where Audenville is, but I mean, that could be 6 hours away at the other corner of the state, who knows?
It actually is.
Is it?
I think it.
Pickwick is the northwestern corner of Alabama, which is where Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee all come together. So it's actually Pickwick's in parts of all three of those states.
Yeah. So he is south of Gunnersville. So he's on the outskirts of Birmingham.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, that's probably a solid, could be 3 hours or so, roughly. Maybe, I'm guessing, maybe more.
Well, let's do a little 3.5 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, looking through the rest of the group, nobody really stands out to me. I mean, Scott Martin possibly, just because he did well the previous event, but
I don't know. I'm not huge on Scott Martin.
Yeah.
I don't know. he's too busy taping fishing shows to
Right.
to be in my liking. Yeah, this was probably past Buddy Gross. And anytime I say Buddy Gross, I can hear Mercer in the back of my head saying, "Buddy Gross." I don't know. Yeah. So I know Stetson Blaylock. He's usually pretty decent, but yeah. I don't know. I think that's pretty much it for Bucket C.
Yeah.
I don't really have too many opinions on anybody else. Actually, I'll take that back. If you need a dark horse, I'll throw it out there, and I keep waiting for him to do good in a southern event. Is Taku Ito?
Yep, I knew you were there.
He's definitely going to be towards especially. I guess it all depends on what group he's in. But when they go back up north, that Champlain and St. Lawrence. Last year, he had 2 top 10s up there. Yeah. And he says he'd never fished for smallmouth before.
Really before that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if he can stay in that C to D bucket or group area, I mean that would be a solid picks up north.
Yep.
Or, later in the season.
All right, bucket D.
D group. I went with Kelly J, 8%. And it didn't have anything to do with the fact that he's from Alabama. That doesn't matter to me, but I like Kelly J. I've liked him probably for at least a year now. I've picked him quite a few times, and I don't know. I just got a little bit of a hunch. I didn't want to go with. I thought about Wendlandt, but at 20-something%, I wanted to go with somebody a little bit less percentages and somebody that I'm comfortable with.
Yep.
And I mean, the fact that he is from Alabama, sure, I guess that helps some, but that wasn't the reason.
I went 1 pick higher than you with 10.1% with Matt Airy.
Okay.
I think he's going to turn it around. He's been kind of poor this season, so he's usually a pretty good finisher.
Right. I briefly thought about David Mullins, 19%, but he really hasn't shown me a whole lot. And he had a great end of the season last year, but he's just not doing anything for me yet this year. And he should fish well because it's Tennessee, not a Tennessee. He's from Tennessee, but I don't know. I don't trust him yet this year.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't trust him either. You have Clark Wendlandt at 21.7%. That's good value for Group D.
Yeah.
I tried to go a little off the beaten path there. And then you got Carl at 14.7%. Carl's always a tough one for me because he either does really well or he doesn't show up.
Yeah.
All right. Let's finish it out. And I'm sure we probably have the same pick on this one.
Maybe.
Group E. Group E. Does Matt reach and go somewhere else? But I went with the chalk on this one. 46.9% with Justin Atkins, and this is his home lake.
Oh, it is. I mean, Florence, Alabama. That is where that's where this event is. McFarland Park. So, I did not take the chalk pick.
Oh,
so I threw you for a little loop there. I went with Jason Williamson.
All right,
J. Willie. Yeah, I don't know, 2.6%. I've got burnt quite a few times. Well, pretty much already this year on that E group by taking chalk picks, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah,
at least not for a little bit. But I don't know. I like Jason Williamson. I think he's going to be able to fish that pretty well down there.
Yeah. I guess I don't have an opinion on that, but
I think of him as kind of like a bit of a power fisherman, and I think that's a lot of what's going to be going on. That's my personal opinion from what the weather and whatnot's going to be like compared to what I fished last week. So,
yeah. I guess my big thing with Justin Atkins was I got to take a chalk somewhere, and I'm gonna take it in E because I really didn't like very many of the other guys in the group. Zeldane, he has not been very friendly to me.
No, and at 24.1,
he's more.
I understand where that percentage is coming from, but he hasn't been bringing it.
Yeah, he's his nickname is Zell Dangerous, but let's change it to migraine because that's all he's been giving me lately.
That's good. I like that.
He's yeah. I'm staying away from him. He's close to the blacklist.
Yeah.
He zeroed on the first day of the out on the Tennessee River.
Yeah.
So and that hurts. And then he just scraped by. I think he caught like 2 or 3 the second day.
Right.
To get us any points.
Right. Yeah, and I'm glad that he did weigh something in on day 2.
Yeah. I mean that we didn't need another Rick Clunn moment.
Right. Yeah. That still burns me up, man. That's 100 points I lost right there, roughly.
Yeah.
All right. We hit our weights already. 71.7 for me. 70. What you were? What, 86 or something?
88.7.
88.7. Yeah. Well, I'm paying attention. You want to just real quick? We'll throw some Stout Sportsmen picks together.
Yeah.
Okay. We probably should have talked about this before we went on, but
hold please. All right, let me pull it up.
Here's my thinking. I'll give you 3 names, and you can pick from one of those.
All right, sounds good. Fair? Yeah, let's do that.
Mark Menendez, Keith Combs, or Palaniuk.
You know what? Since Stout Sportsman hasn't been doing very well, 68%.
Either way.
We're gonna try your Keith Combs method here.
Okay. So that almost means that I can't swap from Hackney now. All right.
Hey, you can double down.
Okay. All right, for B group, give me 3 guys and I'll pick one out of those 3.
Let's see.
It can't be Cruz or Kennedy.
I skipped those names when I was saying it in my head. So we're gonna go Welcher, Cobb, Hartman.
Welcher, Cobb, and Hartman.
Yep.
Not Welcher. Let's go with Jamie. Let's go with Hartman. I know you got a thing for Jamie Hartman, so I'll throw you a bone there.
He's good everywhere. Well,
yeah, he is good.
All right, Group C.
C. Oh boy, we talked about him earlier. You want to take a flyer and go with Taku?
Let's do Taku.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to give me that name so I could pick it. All right, Group D, a tough group. Let's go. I'll give you 3 names. Wendland.
Okay. Hamilton.
Yeah, I was looking at Hamilton. London, Hamilton, and let's go Luke Palmer.
That's interesting. Let me think here. I like Hamilton at 5.6. I like it better than Palmer. I want to stay away from Clark. But yeah, let's go with Hamilton for that one.
All right, Group E.
All right, I'll give you 3.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm going to go with Paul Mueller, Brett Pruitt, or, geez. Wow. Tyler Carreri. Yeah, I'm throwing you some curveballs.
Oh, okay, there he is. Carrier, whatever. I forgot that Brett Pruitt even fishes in Bassmaster.
Oh, okay.
So let's go Paul Mueller.
That's actually a decent pick for E. You know, I mean, he's solid usually.
Yeah.
Obviously not because he's in E group right now, but
yeah, he's due for a turnaround.
What do we want to do for weight here?
Well, we normally split it
somewhere around right about 80-ish. 80-08.
80-08.
80-08. All right.
And
do you by chance have Kim's picks with you?
I do not. I don't even know if she did them yet.
Okay. I'm going to run through Ann's picks real quick because I have them right here. Greg Hackney for A, Brandon Lester B, Buddy Gross C, David Mullins D, and the it's all dangerous.
My Grangerous
with 76.7. It's going to be. I don't know. I really think these guys are going to get crossed up, having nice, decent weather to practice in, and having that day off Wednesday, and then going out fishing Thursday after a cold night. I mean, that's if the weather stays how it's forecasted. Who knows? It'll probably change, but as of right now, I think they're going to be thrown off a little bit if the weather does stay how it's looking like.
Do they have Wednesday off? I know they had Wednesday off on the first tournament because of they did all of their like pictures and meetings and stuff for the first.
I want to say they always have Wednesday off from practice. I think they practice Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesdays I think are usually off. So they can do like media stuff or whatever.
I'm gonna look that up real quick just because.
I mean, what would be worse than going and practicing somewhere for 4 days and then the weather flip-flops on you within that 2-day window and just flip the table on you?
All right, let's take a look here. I don't know if we can even see it. Not even sure where we have to look for that. I don't know. Oh, info sheet. There we go. I think I found it. Let's see.
While you're finding that, when I look at water temps and stuff for different lakes, one of the websites that I use that's fairly accurate and up to date usually is lakemonster.com. So you can pull that up and just type in whatever lake you're looking for, and as long as it's one of the bigger, more popular type lakes or whatever, they usually have pretty accurate water temp listed on there. So unless it's freezing, and I don't think they record that.
All right, so I don't think it says. I'm not seeing it. Official practice days, the 15th through the 17th.
Oh, so it is. Oh, they're only doing 3 days practice: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's different.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, official practice days, March 15th through 17th to 2021.
But that won't be too bad. 75 and rain Monday, 73 chance of rain Tuesday, and Wednesday 72 50% chance. So that'd be interesting. I'm sticking with my weight though. Yep.
Well, we shall see. All right, I think that's going to do it for us.
Yeah.
We got to 500 subscribers.
Yeah, thank you guys. That was awesome. Was it yesterday morning? This morning, I forget.
It was sometime yesterday.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday. I had clicked on one of the subscriber notification emails, and I'm like, oh, we're at 500. I'm like, sweet. So
it was yesterday, cool. 10:08 a.m.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, thanks for that. Definitely like, subscribe, share our videos if you can, if you want to. Hoping for bigger things.
Yeah, we're hoping to get to 700-800 subs by the end of the year. Maybe 1,000. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
You got anything coming up, Matt?
I do have to do a review on the jerkbait rod that you built me. I still have videos to do for that, and I can say that I did catch half of the fish for my week of fishing down south last week. Half of those fish came on that jerkbait rod. Well, actually, 3 out of 4. 1 came on a jerkbait, and 2 I was throwing a medium deep crank. So it works.
Yeah.
I didn't break it, so.
Cool. Did you learn your lesson to make sure you take some deeper stuff when you go places?
The deepest I had with me was I think 12 to 15 was the deepest I had, and we actually stopped to eat at Roadhouse one day, and there was a Gabriel Brothers there, which actually had some tackle in there, so I grabbed like another 12 to 16 or something.
Nice.
So I ended up using that too. Didn't catch anything, but regardless, yeah, I left my whole deep diving crankbait box at home. I did not bring it. And my deep ones are basically from like 15 to 30 or 25, whatever. All those I left at home when I've definitely needed those. I took all my topwater stuff, which I didn't touch. That's the one thing that I did not throw anything of was topwater, but there was no reason to.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever in doubt, just bring everything you got, because more chances than not, you'll wish you did.
Yep.
For sure.
Definitely. All right. I think that's going to do it for us. From Matt and Scott, we're Stout Sportsmen. Stay stout. We are.